Welcome, Planning Pussy people, to another bonus interview. Yay! So this month, we have the fabulous Kim Korven. Welcome, Kim.
Thank you, Flora. I'm so happy to be here.
Well, yay! This is so exciting.
It's something new for me. It's like, this is good. It's not just me talking to the camera. I have somebody talking to me.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
I relate. So why don't you tell all of us a little bit about who you are and who you serve?
Okay. Well, as Flora said, my name's Kim Korven, and I live in Canada in a community about 250,000 people. And I wear, like so many women, I wear so many hats. Okay, so I'm an attorney, I'm a mediator, I'm a judo coach, an adult educator, a mom on my second marriage. And I discovered I used all those skills to divorce peacefully. So now I help other women figure out if their marriages are working for them, and if they're not, I help them divorce peacefully. And at home, I do that as an attorney and a mediator. Mm-hmm. And for people further afield, I help women as a coach. So.
Nice. Awesome. So share with us, because it sounds like you do have a lot of hats, and you do have a lot of kind of irons in the fire, and share with us a little bit about your planning experiences and your experiences with learning how to plan in the past, because hello, that's a lot of stuff that you have. A judo coach, whoa, or a judo teacher. That's awesome. But I mean, especially being an attorney and a mediator, those are pretty stressful things. And then being able to also work with people that are divorcing. I actually worked with a mediator. Her website is Don't Fight About It. And it was a very interesting experience, and it was beautiful, but that's a lot of stuff on your plate. So share with us your experiences that you've had with planning in the past, because obviously you have to have a pretty solid plan to be able to get all that stuff in.
Well, I think until recently I've had no training mm-hmm. in how to plan anything. Mm-hmm. But the whole background in judo, one of the main principles of judo is maximum efficiency with minimum effort.
Nice.
Okay? So everything I do, and I started that at the age of 9. Mm-hmm. So everything I do is kind of, how can I do a superb job and do it efficiently?
Right.
So that underscores everything. But really my planning, that sounds wonderful, but really my planning has been in the ball juggling field for most of my life, right? So you have all these things in the air, and you're doing great until a ball drops, and then you feel guilty, and it's like, well, something has to go. So something goes for a while until something new and shiny grabs my interest, and I take it up again. Now, as an attorney, we're not trained in planning at all, mm-hmm. but we work to deadlines. I mean, not mm-hmm. only the 6-minute increments of billing, and your targets that you're supposed to achieve in billing, mm-hmm. but you work to limitation periods, right? Mm-hmm. And so I work to deadlines. Mm-hmm. And if something didn't have a deadline, or I didn't have a client appointment, it would go to the bottom of the pile mm-hmm. until somebody's screaming at me, a client phones, and I'm feeling guilty. Oh, I haven't got to this yet. So you rush and you get to it. Mm-hmm. I'm speaking very candidly, but that's how attorneys plan. And mm-hmm. before a vacation, I remember dictating like big stacks, going through lots of files if I wanted to be away for a week, so that there was a memo on every file. Mm-hmm. So it was wasn't the best. And I like chatting with people. So I got to a point where I'd actually write in my calendar blocks of time. Mm-hmm. To draft the wills, to draft the contracts, the affidavits, to do it. Mm-hmm. But, if something sexier came along, like a phone call, I would do my best to avoid it. So that meant working late and, mm-hmm. Not always the best. So as a result, and I have my little file cards here to stay on track, because bright and shiny can distract me. So I would say yes to way too many things, right? Mm-hmm. And I'd be stressed, and I was always running. Like, the adrenaline in me was just horrible.
Mm-hmm.
And I didn't have a lot of real quality time for my family.
Yeah.
And, and I'd feel guilty about letting down my family or not doing my best. And so my self-esteem really started to suffer.
Mm-hmm.
And I was going through my divorce then, and I was less effective. So I was less effective
Yeah.
in actually completing my work.
Mm-hmm.
And so I guess my next stage of planning was I ran away from it, and I went and got my master's degree,
Mm-hmm.
where I worked 2 jobs while I was doing masters, but it was a different kind of planning. So that my history has not been very effective.
Mm-hmm.
And now I'm at a point in my life where I'm self-employed again,
Mm-hmm.
and I'm actually starting 2 jobs. My legal and mediation practice here and my big coaching practice. So I have actually discovered that planning is pretty important.
Mm-hmm. Nice. So share with us that big pivotal experience where kind of shit hit the fan, if you will, that you knew that you're just like, oh my gosh, I can't do this anymore. And I know that you kind of briefly touched on it, but just share with us that pivotal moment where you knew you had to get something in place. You had to. Come hell or high water, but you had to.
Well, it's interesting. I mean, last year I went and did a program with Jack Canfield called Breakthrough to Success.
Yes, I love him.
Yeah, it was fantastic. And I came home and I was so excited about the coaching business and helping people divorce peacefully.
Mm-hmm.
And I was working on B School too, and I was so into it. But I'm a full-time employee in a management position.
Mm-hmm.
And so my spare time, I'm focused on my business, and I have this really great relationship, this really great guy in my life,
Mm-hmm.
right, who lives with me and my kids, and he's got this incredibly big heart. But for some strange reason, he likes to spend quality time with me.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know where that comes from, but he was getting resentful.
Mm.
And I had this aha moment of, Kim, isn't this strange? Here you are, working to help people divorce peacefully, and you're ruining your relationship doing it. Like, kind of a contradiction there. So I knew things had to change there, right?
Yeah.
So it was the light bulb moment. Isn't this ironic that if I'm going to be doing this,
Mm-hmm.
I need to be able to figure out a way to fit it all in.
Yeah. Yeah.
And it didn't happen overnight, right?
Mm-hmm.
I had to wait till I was no longer an employee, and then going, I can follow my heart and do what I love to do, but I have to make sure there's room for everybody.
Yeah.
It's important.
Oh, I love that. I love that. Well, so share with us how you've created this harmony now in your life and in your business, because, you've got this fabulous husband or partner and then the kids.
Well, we got married last year. Last year. So, yeah.
Congratulations. Yay. But yeah, share with us how you create this harmony in your life. Well, and in your business, too.
Okay. So, although I'm an attorney, I'm somebody who's always searching for the best way to do something.
Mm-hmm.
And just because something has worked in the past,
Mm-hmm.
I think I don't use the cookie cutter approach, right?
Mm-hmm.
I like to really, and it's how I work my life. It's how I've always worked with my clients, too, very much client-centered.
Yeah.
And heart-centered, really, as well.
Mm-hmm.
And kind of looking at the whole person.
Yeah.
So that being said, I don't do well, really. Like, if there's this strict routine, I'm kind of like, right? Like, I find it, I really push back.
Mm.
But I knew I was just feeling so stressed with starting the 2 businesses, and I hired a coach locally
Mm-hmm.
to help me with the business.
Mm-hmm.
And so our first meeting, she's like, Kim, are you visual? Oh, yeah, I am. And so she suggested doing planning, making myself a calendar with blocks of time and color coding.
Mm-hmm.
And she's very big into not working yourself into the ground.
Yes.
Right? Having time for what's important. So I have my little calendar.
Awesome.
And because red is my revenue generating.
Nice.
Right?
Mm-hmm.
So my red, this is the red I have to spend at my desk.
Yes.
Right?
Perfect.
Because if I don't get that work done, I have a hard time living.
Yeah.
Paying the bills. And I mean, I've got lots of time in there for self-care because
nice.
I meditate every morning.
Mm.
Right now it's about 0 degrees Fahrenheit where I live, and we got more snow, so I haven't been walking. But the goal, part of that morning time, is going for a walk. Part of that self-care time. I was in a car accident last year, so I've got little blocks of time where I do my TheraBand exercises, so those don't get forgotten. I can go and visit with people in the afternoons.
Yay!
Right? And there's time for relationship, my family. And the one thing that was quite interesting doing this that I hadn't thought about was my kids are 12 and 17 and really busy. And I hadn't thought about the fact that we weren't having supper or dinner together because of activities. And when I put this together, it was like, we don't have anything on in the morning. So we're trying to have breakfast together at 7:30. So I have a nice little yellow strip, which is family time.
Oh, nice.
Right? So trying to keep it all together.
Oh, that's awesome.
So it's actually, and as I say, I fought having this kind of a regimented schedule. But it's like, I felt like so much pressure was off me.
Yes.
Because all of a sudden, I didn't have to make those little decisions. Oh, what am I going to do first? And I mean, the other thing I do that helps is before I go to bed, I jot down the 5 things I want to accomplish in the next day.
Nice.
So that is already there, and so I don't have to take the time.
Nice. That's so awesome. Well, and I love that you said that you find so much freedom in that, because one of the things that we do here at the Planning Posse is I recommend that everybody get a giant wall calendar for the entire year and plan out your vacations and your family stuff first, then any launches that you have, and then any regular appointments. And people fight me tooth and nail. They're like, no, Flora, I really want to be free in my business. I'm like, this will let you be free. Trust me, because when you plan, it's all right there. You don't have to think about it. You don't have to keep it in your head because it's all there. And then if something doesn't work, you can rearrange it. You can say, well, okay, so this isn't going to work this quarter, so I'll just flip this or whatever. But that it really does give you so much freedom, because then you can see what's in front of you and you realize, wait a minute, I don't have any family time, and that's really important to you. And you made that a priority. You're like, no, I'm scheduling this in. What a beautiful thing.
Exactly, and even relationship time. Like my husband and I, we drink a cup of coffee in bed together Saturday and Sunday mornings, right? So I've scheduled that in because I might be tempted just to go and have coffee with a friend or a client, right? And it's like, oh, no, Kim. It's here.
Yep. Nice. I love it.
But it has. Because I'm the person who's always fought that.
Yeah.
Ugh, I have, right? Always. And just working to deadlines. But it's like, this is great, actually.
Yay. So, I love this.
And what I find, too, then it gives me more time to be creative and do what I love to do.
Yes.
More energy.
Yes. Oh my gosh, I love that you said that, because a lot of people feel that if they are regimented, that they're not going to have that creative spark. And it's quite the opposite. When you have plans, you have that free. You have the mental space that isn't being, held up with all these lists and all these things that, I need to remember to do this. And no, you get it all out on paper. Then, yeah, that opens up the gateway for so many possibilities. So many possibilities.
Well, and I mean, I haven't said what my self-care is, right?
Mm-hmm.
It's just the block of time self-care.
Yeah.
So if that means having a really good cup of coffee,
Mm-hmm.
right? Or in my evening self-care, if that means drinking a glass of wine in my backyard when the sun's, when the weather's nice, I can do it.
Yay! I love that.
So it's regimented, but there's still a lot of freedom.
Yeah, I love it. Well, one of the things that you said early on is what served you yesterday might not serve you today. And that's something that I've said for years. And I love that you put that in there is self-care. And you determine on that day, on that moment, what's perfect for you. Because that gives you the freedom to go, yeah, this is my time for me. What do I feel like doing?
Well, I meditate almost every day.
Yes.
Right? And that really helps to keep me grounded and not just feeling like a hamster in the wheel.
Yep.
Because I spent a lot of my life being a hamster on the wheel. And it wasn't a good place to be.
Yeah, I agree. Oh my gosh. This is amazing hearing about all the stuff that you've been through. So share with us what your biggest lesson has been in this whole planning journey that you've been through.
Well, that planning, let me just see, I wrote it down yesterday and I had really good words. That I need a planning system to be creative and inspired.
Yeah.
Like it's good for my health. Who knew? I'm just part of this Calvinist work ethic where you work, and it's like, this planning, I have some free time. I don't have to worry about it. Isn't this great?
Yes. Well, I grew up with parents like that too, and I find myself falling into that mindset is if, at 9 o'clock I'm sitting at my desk and I sit here until 5 o'clock, and it's hard sometimes for me to pull myself away. I'm like, no, I'm done for the day. I don't have to sit here and fill up the entire time doing whatever. I can get up and do whatever I want. So share with us, and I know we're kind of going off script, but share with us that experience that you had from going from that regimented work to now having free time and giving yourself permission to have that free time.
Well, I think it was likely really good that I walked away from being an entrepreneur for a while and was an employee.
Mm-hmm.
Because that was, at 4:30, 5 o'clock, I am done. That's all you're paying me for. And so it kind of helped me to see the pattern.
Mm-hmm.
Because I certainly have not broken that pattern yet,
mm-hmm.
and I likely never will, but I'm much more conscious of it.
Nice.
Right? Because when you love what you do, it's really hard to pull yourself away. But I have my little visual, and it's like, oh yeah, you need to be, it's family time. Mm-hmm. So, I mean, like my daughter, Wednesday, she has her piano lesson at 5:30, and then she's, Mom, can we go shopping? Okay, all right, let's go shopping, so.
Mm-hmm. How exciting.
It's family time. And it's like, but it's a really hard pattern to break. But I mean, some of the things I've done is it's different from my home now. So 2 self.
Mm-hmm.
And when I'm done in my office, I close the door. And I think because of having that time as an employee, I stay out.
Nice.
Much as I can, right? I mean, so.
Yay! That's so awesome.
And part of what might be helping with that is the car accident last summer.
Mm-hmm.
I never believed in whiplash. I started practicing law at a firm that did insurance defense work, so I thought it was a legal construct.
Oh.
And then my son's driving and we get rear-ended. And it's like, whiplash is real.
Yeah.
So I have to be conscious about how much time I spent at the desk.
Yeah. Wow. So how do you really connect with your coaching, practice, because you've been talking a lot about like your lawyer work and your attorney work and stuff like that, but how has this planning really helped you with your clients and as you're coaching them through certain things that they're going through? Have you been able to translate kind of those aha moments for you with them?
I haven't in the planning field yet.
Okay.
But I mean, I'm sure it will come, because usually I do infuse a lot of who I am in sharing with the people I work with.
Awesome. Yay! Well, with that said, we're running out of time. So why don't you share with us and our members ways that they can connect with you outside of this interview?
And there's my landline, my antique
Right?
landline ringing. So there you go, another phone line.
They can
Anyway,
call you. Yeah.
So Kim Korven, my website is fullcircledivorce.com, www.fullcircledivorce.com. I have a page on Facebook under that tagline as well, because just a little plug, why Full Circle Divorce? When you meet somebody, it's kind of like you're at the top of the circle. Your friends. You work through your relationship, there's highs. You get to a point where you can't stand each other. I work with people to bring them as close to the top of that circle as possible.
Nice. So
and
good.
I would say go to my website, sign up for my email list. Shoot me if you shoot me an email and say Flora in the tagline, the first 11 people are going to get a 30-minute complimentary discovery call with me.
Oh, yay!
And it's going to be on waking sleeping beauty.
Nice.
So it isn't, I'm not looking at the women who have decided I'm getting a divorce, because that's what I've discovered is it's actually a really long process to get to that point.
Yeah.
So to explore, right?
Yeah.
Where waking up sleeping beauty, the happily ever after, and looking at, if you even want to transform your relationship, if it needs transformation, and then maybe seeing if I can help, but a complimentary 30-minute discovery call. So
that's awesome.
For people, so there you go.
Well, thank you so much. That's so cool. Well, and I've been married and divorced 3 times. My first marriage was 6 years. My second marriage was 4 months. That shouldn't even count. And then my third marriage was 8 years. And, my first and my third one, I went through, couples counseling and therapy and all this other stuff. And it just very different lifestyles, me and my partners. And so I was like, no, I can't. That's not good. But yeah, it is interesting going through that transition. And I do agree with you. It is a long time in the making. So it truly is an experience of self-discovery, and having somebody be able to usher someone through that experience, what a blessing. What a blessing that you're providing for people.
Well, and my husband is Catholic, my first husband, and did not want to split up.
Yeah.
And we did it peacefully.
Nice.
Right? So it's like, if I can do it, anybody can.
Yay! That's so awesome! Well, Kim, thank you so much for taking time out of your schedule for meeting with us today and sharing all of your beautiful wisdom and all your fun-loving energy. I just love you. You're just awesome. And for you Planning Posse members, please be sure to click all the links below to connect with Kim, and make sure that you send her that email and put Flora in the subject line so that you can get your free complimentary conversation with her. And until next month, I'm wishing you all a fabulous planning party. Bye-bye. I'll see you next time.
Bye.